Well, good afternoon, everyone. The subject today is inflation. 90% of Americans believe inflation is the number one problem in the country. Some on the other side have described this as transitory or easily dealt with. I think all the indicators are that it's only going to get worse. Just to give you one tangible example, in my state, 750,000 people in Kentucky depend on natural gas or propane to heat their homes this winter. For many of my constituents, this is a choice, in some cases, between putting food on the table and staying warm. This could not be a more challenging problem confronting America. And as we all now know, this was created by this administration by dumping almost $2 trillion on the economy through the American Rescue Plan, and even liberal economists who actually like what they're trying to pass now, the reckless tax incentive spree, admit that on this issue, it will only make it worse.
Everybody, after finally receiving the votes to pass both the Senate and House of Representatives, the infrastructure bill is now going to be signed into law by Biden. The $1.2 trillion package approved by Congress is going to fund the public works projects that can touch every part of the country, and Biden is expected to sign this bill into law on Monday. The new Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021 is also designed to tackle big-ticket items, like expanding high-speed internet and building better airports. This particular package has been in the works since June. It's completely different from the Build Back Better Act, which is at a point of tense negotiation. And also, California on Friday issued its latest round of the second Golden State stimulus checks, worth around $1,100. According to the California Franchise Tax Board, 784,000 payments with a total valuation of $555 million. The vast majority in this batch is $750,000 and will be all sent by mail. The states also plan to directly deposit 34,000 payments into the bank accounts beginning this week. For those receiving a payment, the tax board advises it can take up to a few days. With this latest disbursement, California will have distributed more than 6 million total payments, worth a total value of $4.5 billion since the Golden State stimulus checks. And it's estimated about 9 million people, almost a quarter of the state's population, will be getting money from the state stimulus program. And that is good news, folks. Do you believe that President Biden is going to approve this bill? And do you think he will sign it? Tell me in the comments down below. I truly appreciate everybody's main support. Until next time, have a great day.
Cases, as they confront these situations, they need some help. We need to help them recover from the invisible wounds that their work can inflict. These wounds are no different from wounds that I said our military encounters on the battlefield. According to one study, law enforcement officers are 54% more likely to die by suicide than the average American, because they're under such enormous pressure and they see things none of us ever see. The vast majority of law enforcement officers tell us that peer support programs are the most helpful mental health resource there is. And that makes sense. If you hold just a second, it makes you, when you think about it, you know, law enforcement as well as the military, all taught to be stand your own. You know, don't ask for anything. You can do it. Just take care of it yourself. And it's an enormous burden we put on them. And it's really difficult. I've learned working so diligently with the military community. It's so hard to get them to say, hey, I need some help. I need some help. I want you to know, a wound that is imposed on your mind is no different than if you broke your arm or got shot in the leg. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It deserves to be treated. And it deserves the respect that goes along with it. Because the strongest support and the best guidance often come from someone who has walked in their shoes. However, many officers don't access peer support because they have concerns about privacy and confidentiality. And only about half the states have confidentiality protections. But this bill, and I want to thank the Congress for this, encourages first responders agencies to adapt peer counseling programs, require the Department of Justice to make the best practices and resources publicly available for people who want to become peer support mentors, and ensure confidentiality to federal law enforcement officers who use peer counseling services, with the only exception being admission of a criminal conduct and or a threat of serious physical harm. My hope is by giving more officers access to confidentiality and high-quality mental health resources, we're going to reduce the stigma around seeking help and lead to better policing and prevent suicides. Put simply, we'll get more officers the help they need so they can better help the communities they serve. The next bill I'll be signing is the Protect America's First Responders Act. I want to thank Senator Gillibrand. Thank you very much. And Bill, I want to thank you, Pasquale, Brian Fitzpatrick, Joe Courtney. They're all near neighbors where I used to represent, for their leadership in supporting those who are disabled or killed in the service of their community. You know, when our nation's firefighters, disaster relief workers, EMT, law enforcement officers, and other first responders respond to that radio alert, they run toward the danger while others are running away. They know there's a risk of them getting injured or worse. And when they go to work each day, their families wait for that phone call. They're going to get that phone call that something's happened. Public Safety Officers Benefits Program was originally established to provide death benefits to officers who fall on the line of duty, so that if, God forbid, their family gets that call, they don't also lose their house, their car, and they're left bereft in terms of economic capacity. It has since been expanded to provide disability and education benefits, and increases the number of first responders who are eligible, including children born after the fact. It's really important, and you know, Pat, you and I used to discuss this all the time in Judiciary 120 years ago here, but the truth is, you know, with over 1,000 claims a year to review, the program has been slow and inconsistent when it comes to reviewing claims and supporting first responders and families, including those who responded on 9/11. The law has to change. You're doing that. You're changing the law to do that. And it's going to make sure this program processes claims more quickly and speeds up payments, makes clear the public safety officers who are acting in an emergency situation, no matter the jurisdiction, are covered, and broadly defines what it means to be permanently disabled. Before this law, first responders permanently disabled in the line of duty were only eligible for benefits programs if they could never again perform any of the compensated work that they performed. Now, what you guys and women have changed is you allowed the disabled first responders who can't do the work they have been trained for, but still can perform tasks and take on work that's therapeutic for them, to do these jobs without losing the benefits, at the same time getting both the pay and the benefit if it's in a different area. There's a line inscribed in the National Law Enforcement Officer